the meeting for PISFIS here. I'm just going to read this out as we normally do. Before we begin, I want to remind the Public Safety, Finance, Strategic Support Committee members and members of the public to follow our code of conduct at meetings. This includes commenting on the specific agenda item only and addressing the full body. Public speakers will not engage in a conversation with the chair, council member, or staff. All members of the Public Safety, Finance, and Strategic Support Committee, staff, and the public are expected to refrain from abusive language. Repeated failure to comply with the code of conduct, which will disturb, disrupt, or impede the orderly conduct of this meeting, may result in removal from the meeting. This meeting of the Public Safety, Finance, and Strategic Support Committee will now come to order. Can we have the clerk office do a roll call?
Councilmember Batra.
Present.
Torres.
Present.
Kameh. Here. Jimenez is absent, and Councilmember Duan.
Here.
Thank you.
So we'll go straight to, do we have any public comments at this point?
There is no public comment.
Perfect. So we're going to go straight to the consent calendar. The bi-monthly financial report for March and April of 2022. Do we have a motion for that?
Second.
Thank you. Let's vote.
Motion is approved.
Okay, we have item number 1, advancing racial equity through cultural and practice annual report. I believe we have a presentation from the staff. While we're waiting, do we have any public comments?
There is no public comment.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairperson, committee members, and members of the public. My name is Sulma Maciel. I'm Director of the San Jose's Office of Racial and Social Equity. And I'm joined by my colleagues, Andrea Aguiar, Racial Equity Manager, and Jasmine Hartenstein, Inclusion and Belonging Manager. So the memo before you is the annual report of the Office of Racial and Social Equity's work, and it provides a review of current fiscal year accomplishments and summarizes future efforts. As a strategic support partner to the city organization, the office aims to embed a racial equity practice and embody a culture that sustains it. The framework that we use to advance the work is one adopted by over 300 government institutions across the country. And you've heard it before, and I'll say it again, that framework is normalize, organize, and operationalize. So what I'll be covering today is a little bit of the background, some of the accomplishments this year, and also want to speak to the expanded portfolio of the office. So the operational work plan, which is outlined in the attachment to the memorandum, delineates the objectives that align with the framework. And as noted in the slide, you'll see the 4 primary objectives. It also includes a set of strategies that will increase knowledge, skills, and the use of tools to apply a racial equity analysis to various functions of the city organization. It also includes outward-facing strategies that focus on community inclusion, belonging, and connection. And so I want to highlight that this past year, and you'll see this and a lot of other examples of some of our accomplishments, but I just want to point to 2 in particular. This past year, we offered 15 trainings. We offered trainings to reinforce equity concepts, and there were about 420 participants. Of those that participated, 100% of them learned something new that they would apply to their work beginning that day. The sessions were also highly rated, 4.7 out of 5. I'm also excited to share that we recently launched an online civics masterclass to increase participation in civic and community life. The curriculum was co-written with our nonprofit organization and partner, Only in San Jose, and was translated into Spanish and Vietnamese. To date, we have nearly 200 people that have logged in to the training to learn more about how local government works. And it really is the basics, but it's important for people to have the information required to be able to feel more comfortable in participating in our public process. The memo also speaks to some important enhancements that I want to share about the office's work and role in the coming year. I'll start with the top left. I'm happy to share that the Disability Affairs portfolio will be integrated into the Office in Racial and Social Equity. It simply makes sense to align and coordinate the work for both the Disability Affairs work, racial equity work, and all things that we've done in immigrant affairs. It makes sense to integrate because the integration will facilitate an intersectional approach to disability and foster inclusion and belonging for all people with disabilities. The second area is focused attention on gender equity. It's important in everything that we do in the city, and next year we want to take a closer look at the Women's Bill of Rights that was adopted by the City Council in 2017 and consider in what ways we could implement the work with also the understanding that we don't have additional resources, but there are some things that perhaps we can do in what we're doing with equity, inclusion, belonging, and access, where we do a hyper focus on gender equity. This year, we initiated important partnerships with the IT department and colleagues in the city manager's office to better coordinate and leverage one another's expertise around performance management and data governance and skills. I'm super enthusiastic about this shared work and see how we can best serve and support the city organization to demonstrate improved outcomes for the people in San Jose. More of those collaborative and coordinated efforts across departments are planned for this next year. And then the final and most important piece is the commitment to the recently adopted Racial and Social Equity Ordinance and the Equity Values and Standards Policy. These documents codify the promise of a just and equitable San Jose. It fortifies the importance of collective responsibility among elected officials, city administration, boards, and commissions to make decisions that move the city towards equity. While we in the Office of Racial and Social Equity do our best to teach people how to do critical analysis, at the end of the day, it's the small decisions made in conference rooms and the big decisions made in this council chamber that determine the collective impact on quality of life for San Jose residents. So I now request that the committee accept the Advancing Racial Equity Through Culture and Practice annual report and to refer and cross-reference this report to the full City Council for its meeting on August 20th, 2024. Happy to take questions and here with my colleagues who can also help answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go to the Vice Mayor at this point.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank the whole team so much for advancing your work. It's not easy work, but I think that it's critically important, and the fact that you're going to also incorporate the Office of Disability Awareness in it makes sense. So thank you so much for that. I'm also very excited about the looking into gender equity and the Women's Bill of Rights. Every March, I always try to amplify awareness, and I'm looking forward to working with your office in anything that I could do to be able to continue that work. And this is work that's not just one and done. It is like an everyday, all the time, you know, try to keep it top of mind. So I really, really appreciate that. And I also think that, you know, in terms of the work with the Office of Disability, to me it makes sense to also find what are the cross-sections. For example, as we start thinking about creating play areas, just a small example, trying to think about whether or not the possibility of having a more inclusive playground, I think, is also helpful for many in our community who perhaps don't have access and are really, really, wanting to see that happen. So I very much appreciate your work. I also want to see what we as council members can also do to amplify your work. I know that we all have newsletters, and if there's something that can be highlighted, can be sort of shared, can be done, I think that we as elected officials need to serve as examples of the work that you're doing as well. So anything that we can do, I think is critically important so that we lead by example. And with that, I would like to move the acceptance of the report and to cross-reference it to the City Council in August. Thank you.
I believe, Councilmember Bottrell, I saw that you clicked your speaking next.
Yes, thank you for that report, and I really admire the fact that you are not staying in that one square box on the left-hand side of the screen which you had originally, racial equity. You have looked at the areas which are racial equity, but in a more generalized way, where you got the gender. And is senior equity, senior citizens, is that part of your portfolio to look at, or can you look at?
That's an excellent question, Councilmember. The reason why we expanded the name to racial and social equity is to ensure that as we move forward, we are much more intentional about thinking about the groups that have traditionally been left out, marginalized, or perhaps are experiencing worse outcomes than others. And that is a category that is important in all of this. There are departments that are much more focused on older adult populations who are doing really good work. And so to the extent that we can provide our expertise, we are always available for that. So that, I appreciate the question because that's what the social word is so important. There are probably other groups that perhaps in the future need to be considered, and we'll have to find ways to accommodate that too.
Yeah, so I think integrated approach, whether you bring them into the same fold or whether you just cross-reference them and integrate your work with them, I think having a one focus going in that direction is helpful. And I think social word really adds to the entire spectrum of the work, and I like that fact that you're trying to include that one. And I think the second part to it is that, we'd like you to continue on this effort and bring it even more results next year in your annual report. Thanks for the work you have already done, and especially going beyond the word racial to adding the social part to it. Okay? Thank you.
Councilmember Torres.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you so much for all your work, and thank you for your presentation. It's always good to see Andrea. We used to see each other in class all the time, many, many, many years ago when we were both at San Jose State. But I actually have, and I'm trying to figure out how to say these. So, as the downtown councilman, I have been getting a lot of complaints regarding, I shouldn't say complaint, well, yeah, concerns, complaints regarding street vendors. We know that it's important to one, support our community, especially when they're trying to make a living or an income. But what we're hearing in rather sad conversation is I'm hearing that some street vendors, one, are being bullied, not by our city, not by SJPD, but by other street vendors. There's actually street vendors who have told us that they're being sex trafficked, unfortunately, so human trafficking among our street vendors, and a whole slew of other problems. And I'm just wondering, is this something that the Office of Social Equity can help us with? I know that crime prevention does a really good job when it comes to showing them the way to become permitted vendors, and then they go from there. They buy a brick and mortar, etc. But a lot of the newer street vendors are kind of just literally just brought here and dumped and say, hey, go sell hot dogs, go sell food, go sell clothes. Is that something the Office of Social Equity can help us with?
Yeah, Council Member, this is a complicated problem, and the Department of Office Economic Development, the Office of Economic Development, and no, it's OEDCA. I remember acronyms so much easier. They had been working with and they had asked for our opinion about how to move forward in this space, and this was just a few years ago. And what I said at that time is that it's important to provide protections for people who are trying to make a living, and economic mobility is an equity principle. So anything that we can do to ensure that the people who want to work and have goods to sell are protected, but we also understand that there's a responsibility that they have to take on. And so, for example, getting the permits and working with the Public Health Department is very important. So we funded what's called a Semillas program with our partners, Mimi Hernandez, as you all know, with Prosperity Lab. They are experts in working with and engaging that particular community. And so we wanted to make sure that there was a way that we would have permitted vendors in San Jose. And so that's one route. The other route is enforcement and policy. And I think those are the areas that really haven't been worked out yet, but I'm always eager to participate in conversations related to particularly this immigrant community.
Great. No, thank you. And I think it would be great if somebody from staff maybe goes to the meetings that Nancy Ruda from SJPD hosts. Nancy Ruda hosts some really good workshops on how to get permitted and move forward. And I think if we work closely with Office of Economic Development and Office of Social Equity, that'd be great. Lee, it looks like you want to say something. I don't know if you want to.
I did turn on my light, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and Zulma and Nancy and I can certainly chat offline about that. Honestly, you raise a really good question, and I would say I think this is where Zulma and her team show their strength and the model that we have in place. A lot of this work is really being led by Office of Economic Development, Cultural Affairs with Paul Joseph and the police department. In support, as well as Zulma and her team. So that foundational work, that normalizing and organizing and all of the training that they have gone through, what it does is the folks in economic development know, hey, how do we need to think about this problem? It's not a matter of moving vendors off the street. It's actually about how we make decisions that affect our most vulnerable. So the fact that they even came to Zulma and her team show that the trainings are working, that we're centering some of these decisions around our most vulnerable community. And then I think to Zulma's point, as the state has taken tools away to deal with some of these, especially around some of the criminal activity, not of the people actually on the street, but the people trafficking these individuals, we'll have to look at those policies and those advocating tools with the same lens of an equity lens that we've looked through some of the decisions that we've made now. So this is kind of where Zulma and her team show, the importance of the work, because they may not be directly involved, but the people that have gone through their training that they've worked with are starting to ask these questions of themselves as they approach these problems.
Great, thank you. And then the other one is, it's another topic of concern that's on the top of mind, especially for me, because I know we've reached out to the Office of Social Equity when when, a bus full of migrants comes to San Jose and they just dump them off in front of our community centers or in front of our libraries, and Office of Social Equity then scrambles with our local nonprofits to make sure that doesn't happen. But I think maybe this question is a little bit more geared to our city attorney, sitting to my right. How can we work with the Office of Social Equity and maybe join amicus briefings of blue cities that are suing red states when it comes to busing migrants? I know that there's been a few, both mayors and attorney generals in blue states, Democrats, who are suing like bus companies for transporting migrants illegally across state lines and dumping them off, quote unquote, in blue cities or immigrant-friendly cities. How can we work on that with both Office of Social Equity, city attorneys, and of course our council? So.
Yes, council member. So you can start with bringing those to the attention of, I would think, the city manager's office, and then from there it can go to city attorney, and we take it to the council to get approval to jump into those things and file amicus briefs in matters that are of interest to the city.
Okay. Yeah, great. That's awesome to hear, because I know I have already a bunch of articles of, local mayors suing.
Yes, our city attorney's office has done that before, filed amicus briefs, not on this issue, but on other issues that are of interest to the city.
Great, yeah, because that's a great concern. We've, it's very unfortunate that it's happening, and our city and our nonprofits are strained because they just keep sending our migrants to these, to our cities, right? And it's, it's just not right, not the right thing to do. So.
Councilmember, I also want to reassure you that if there is an amicus brief that is circulating amongst cities, that we would know about it and take it to the attorney's office.
Oh, good.
So we're
That's good to know.
constantly looking at what is happening in the national landscape. We're also members of Cities for Action, which is large cities in the U.S. who are following this on the everyday, from the recent presidential actions at the border, as well as the extension of permanent status for undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens. So there are a number of letters that we've already signed in support to or stressing certain things that we want to the Biden administration. Normally those letters through Cities for Action are signed by mayors. So there are some things that don't need to come through the city council, but those that do, rest assured that we're following this closely.
Great, yeah. Thank you.
Sulma, can we do a follow-up for the council member? I know that I don't think we've joined an amicus brief on this issue for quite some time, but I know we have. And I know in 2016, we ramped up an awful lot of activity around this area. So maybe it's time for an info memo or just an email to the mayor and council, because it is something that we were fairly active on in the past, especially with threats coming in from the federal government in the past.
Great. Thank you. That's it for me.
Vice Mayor Kamei.
Thank you. Those are really good points that my colleague, Councilmember Torres, has brought up. I'm just curious in terms of the very first one, before we start getting prepared for the fall and, Christmas in the park again and all of that, I'm wondering, is this something that needs a memo to rules to get it on somebody's work plan or something? Because I also think that while it may be incorporated in a few departments here and there, I don't see a solution to the issue. At least not a clear sort of like somebody's got a plan and we're gonna proceed in this manner. So I'm just wondering, does it require a memo to go through rules?
I don't believe at the current time we need any direction on this. We are trying to lead this out of the city manager's office, given all of the various departments that are involved, which is why we have the Office of Economic Development in the lead.
Okay.
I believe Jennifer and I actually have a meeting this afternoon on this topic. It is something that we do need to get our hands on operationally, and with a lot of other communities in the South Bay, even South County now, that are experiencing this issue. I do think one of the things that we'll be asking you to take action on in August as a part of the city's summer intergovernmental relations report is with those legislative guiding principles, starting to talk to our own local delegation about the state expanding our options and how we serve these vendors and how we greater permit them to the extent possible, because I do think the state took actions 3-4 years ago that really tied locals' hands.
Yeah, because, one of the things that I know that Councilmember Torres talked about, D3 area, the downtown. I'm having complaints all over the place and I don't have that many parks. In the parks, they're selling beer and all kinds of other stuff in the parks. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, how is that even possible, right? So I think that there may be, just sort of the beginnings of things sort of spreading. So I think that it might be helpful to address this early. And I know that the Prosperity Lab does really, really good work, and they do great training. And if there's I could see someone in their little cart having a stamp of approval or some kind of signage on there that is very visible to an officer to say, oh, they have a permit, or they're, they know it, they're going through the process. But, in the absence of that, it's just sort of like hit and miss. So I'm glad to hear that it is something that is going to be addressed, and I look forward to hearing more about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your report. I'm just very appreciative of your hard work and create the equity that we need right here in San Jose. I know that you spend a lot of time teaching our staff, but a lot of times the public doesn't know that we implement these incredible programs to not only protect the public, but our staff, our visitor, and our worker right here in the city of San Jose. And are you working with the library in order to get some of this information across to, people who visit the library, or some way to reach out to our residents? My office is more than willing, just like all the other council members, to help spread that information.
Yeah, thank you for the offer. What we've learned over this past year is that every time that you all, the council members, sent out information on our behalf, there was always a jump in participation. We don't have the followers, we don't have the traffic in our social media the way that you do, or email distribution lists that you do, and we have shown a pretty marked increase. So yes to that. We work closely with multiple departments in the city, and libraries are at the top of that list to distribute information on citizenship workshops or conversations across difference through Candidly Speaking, the Civics Masterclass. There are a number of public-facing projects that we have and that we rely our partner departments to participate in. So we'll make sure to highlight those for the council offices on a quarterly basis.
And does your office offer grants to groups that help, the immigration problems, or group who help people become a citizen?
We don't offer grants, but we are partners with a coalition of legal service providers to provide a mega citizenship workshop every spring. And our contribution to that is marketing through radio and TV, but they're the experts in the workshops and implementing of the legal services.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I know there's a notable shift in national sentiment against diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I know that the state is in a $37 billion plus in deficit. How does that affect us, and what are we doing to kind of shift this trend, at least in the city of San Jose?
It sounds like that's a two-part question.
Yes.
About the budget. So our role in thinking about budget decisions that might be placed in the future is simply for departments to understand and to do a critical analysis of the proposals that are being submitted. We don't ultimately make a decision. We don't influence the decision. You all make the final decision on that. But as the proposals go forward and they're sent for public view, there should be a lot of analysis on the back end to be very clear-eyed about the communities that will benefit or will be burdened by particular decisions. That's that one piece. On the second piece, on the national trend regarding DEI, what really solidified and codified the importance of just centering equity in this institution was the ordinance and the policy that was recently adopted. For us, and think that national conversation can continue to go, we have a path and our blueprint on how to advance equity in San Jose, and it's reinforced by an ordinance and a policy.
Thank you. Councilmember Torres, thank you for mentioning that about our non-permitted vendors, whom being sex trafficking and wage theft is heartbreaking, right? These people are just trying to survive. And I think in this to CMO office is that I think when we go out there with the county to do enforcement, we should have social workers out there just for possible cases of sex trafficking or human trafficking, and including some type of program to help these non-permitted vendors to become permitted, and understanding the laws that we have here in San Jose. I just want to, hopefully we'll continue that talk, and at this point I don't see any other remarks at this point, so let's vote.
Motion passes 4-0 with Councilmember Jimenez absent.
Thank you. And then now we're going to item number 2, Police Department Operation and Performance Quarterly Status Report. I believe that'll be Chief Joseph. We'll be giving that. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council Member. Paul Joseph, Acting Chief of Police, and I'm joined by Lieutenant Nakwai Sherry from our Traffic Enforcement Unit and Lieutenant Paul Hamblin from our Research and Development Unit. This is our Operations and Performance Quarterly Status Report. We're going to talk about our citywide crime statistics and other matters of interest, primarily a report back to you all on how Cinco de Mayo 2024 went. So as you know, our crime stats has been an issue, our ability to report out on those due to the changes through the Department of Justice going from the Uniform Crime Reporting System to the NIBR system. However, we finally do have, after a tremendous amount of effort on the part of our crime analysis unit and training of our officers and other employees to get accustomed to this new system and working with our report writing vendor, we finally do have a year's worth of crime stats to report on. And the good news on that is we do see a reduction in crime overall in the last reportable quarter, which is January through March. Pretty much every category of crime and crimes against persons, which is known now as Group A offenses, is either down or no change. Crimes against property, burglaries and thefts and things of that nature also down, relatively flat throughout the year. But again, every crime category is either down or no change. Crimes against society are crimes wherein the state of California is the victim, so like drug possession and things of that nature, where no individual is the victim of the crime, also down. similar numbers. So we're certainly proud to report on that. I have to say we're proud to just be up and running with this new NIBR system. This has been a pretty heavy lift for the police department. We're still a few months behind, but we're a lot better than we were. We started off about a year behind and really weren't able to report out at all. We still have the fact that, you know, the statistics basically start from April of 2023 and go forward. It's an apples to oranges comparison to go back any further than that because the crime categories and the manner in which they're reported change so much. But a year's worth of statistics, I think, is a valid comparison. And as I say, the statistics are going in the right direction for us. Cinco de Mayo weekend. So last year, council directed us to do a better job of our collaboration with the community in preparation for the Cinco de Mayo weekend and the various celebrations that were taking place, and better messaging on how we were going to deploy our resources during that weekend. And we listened, we heard you, and we did make a big effort working with several different council offices and the community to do just that. And I have to thank Lieutenant Sherry. He was point person for us on many of those community meetings. As the lieutenant of the traffic enforcement unit, he's in charge of preparing the overall operations plan for the weekend. And it's a very large plan, as you all know. We deploy a lot of officers on the weekend. So we had meetings from starting in November 1st through the weekend just prior to Cinco de Mayo, and we included Councilmember Torres, you and your staff, Councilmember Ortiz and his staff, the Lowrider Council, Department of Transportation, Office of Economic Development and Cultural Affairs, the San Jose PD Historical Society, and community organizations. We wanted grassroots groups, neighborhood associations, and whatnot to have some input and some knowledge of what we were going to do and how we were going to do it. Various people from the police department participated in all those meetings, but Lieutenant Sherry, as I mentioned, was a constant through those meetings. In the 4 weeks leading up to the event, as far as our messaging goes, our media relations unit posted our plans, including possible road closures on all of our social media platforms and our website. After the weekend on May 9th, we did a debrief with District 5, which Lieutenant Sherry, the Lowrider Council, and other groups, Office of Economic Development, Cultural Affairs, DOT, and the community participated. And then we finally did a debrief on May 29th with your staff, you and your staff, Councilmember Torres, Councilmember Ortiz and his staff, and others to talk about how it went, how the messaging went, what people's impressions were of that weekend overall, and in particular our response and our work. So there were several large planned city events for the first time in a long time, and the two biggest were on Saturday, May 4th. There was a car show in your district, District 3, from Santa Clara and Barack Obama Boulevard. There were no notable issues at that, no police involvement other than just road closures and things of that nature. Also, a salsa fest that occurred from 1 to 8 at Plaza Cesar Chavez, which unfortunately was canceled due to rain. On the 5th, there was a large parade in East San Jose in District 5, and then also a parade again in your district, District 3. I attended both. I was in the parade down King Road. Those were both very well attended by the public. Absolutely no law enforcement issues whatsoever at either one of those large events. I think it was a stretch of resources to ensure that we're able to safely get all those road closures accomplished while still having almost our entire police department on duty. There weren't a lot of people available to do some of the secondary employment work that they ordinarily do, but through a combination of use of reserve officers and use of private security and private road closure companies, it was accomplished. And again, I think both of those events were very successful. On the 3rd, it was mostly pretty light. There were no traffic diversions or road closures that occurred. There was some sideshow activity, but not a tremendous amount. When parking lots became crowded and sideshow activity would spring up, we would send officers to that location to clear it out. And we released our officers at midnight, again, because of low traffic flow and pedestrian issues. On Saturday, same thing, no traffic diversions or road closures other than the planned road closures associated to the events were necessary. We released our officers around 1 a.m. on that day. And just to kind of recap, on Cinco de Mayo weekend, we have everybody on 12-hour shifts. Our day shift works, day shift and midnights handle all the calls for service throughout the city, and our swing shift stands by to assist with any issues related to the weekend. On the Sunday the 5th, we did have heavy vehicular and pedestrian traffic, both in downtown and in Foothill. At 1600 hours, we did have a large gathering at Story and King, and we had significant increases in traffic during the hours following that. We did some traffic diversions in the downtown corridor at around 5:40 p.m. and in Foothill about 6:15 p.m. due to traffic congestion and sideshow activity at those locations. Again, more sideshow activity. We were proactive. We tried to shut it down as soon as things arose. We didn't have any major issues on Sunday the 5th, but the areas where sideshows did occur, Sierra and Lundy, Montgomery and Santa Clara, McKee and Jackson, and then various locations throughout downtown. And as you know, these sideshows they're mobile by nature. We try our best to know where they're going to be in advance if possible and respond to them when they spring up unannounced. So our overall stats. We made a total of 17 felony arrests, 52 misdemeanor arrests or citations issued, 18 warrant arrests, issued 156 citations, impounded 8 vehicles. We recovered 6 handguns through proactive police work and 1 knife during the weekend. And here's just some photos of the parade. You may recognize that gentleman in the red car as former Chief Anthony Mata. Some of the crowd on King Road. That was our contribution. That was our 64 Plymouth. I'm in the passenger seat there. You can't really see me. Tony's picture is clearer than mine. More of the folks from the Lowrider Council who participated in the event. And that is our own Officer Castro, who sang in sort of a special uniform. She's appeared at a number of community events since then, and she's really special. So with that, I would turn it over to the council members for any questions.
Councilmember Batra. Oh, let me ask for if there is any public comment.
There is no public comment.
Thank you, Councilmember Batra.
I think you knew there were no comments. That's why you went straight to me. Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you very much for the report. And it looks like your preparation work paid off, that many of these events, which are large attended events, and have a tendency to bring some not too good people to some of those items, but you kept everybody safe. I do want to know, officer who was recently attacked, or his cruiser was attacked in the incident of the recent one. How is the officer doing, and what the prognosis is about any of the issues from that particular site?
Thank you. So I think you're referring to, there was a recent sideshow in the area of Winchester and Stevens Creek Boulevard. An officer who was in the area was flagged down about a pedestrian who'd been struck by a car. Pedestrian appeared to be seriously injured, according to the person that flagged down the officer. And as the officer went to that location to try to provide any medical assistance, he was attacked by participants in the sideshow. His vehicle was vandalized. He sustained slight injuries from broken glass from his window being broken out, but obviously it was a pretty serious event. And we mobilized our detective bureau and our real-time intelligence center that evening and immediately began working on that case. And we haven't stopped, we're not done, but within less than 48 hours, we had the driver who was spinning donuts in the intersection and struck the pedestrian in custody. We had his car impounded. Yesterday, we arrested 2 of the individuals responsible for vandalizing the responding patrol officer's car, and we're continuing to work on this case, and we will not be satisfied until everybody involved is in custody. So thank you for asking.
And the officer is doing well, the one whose cruiser was attacked?
He is. He suffered some injuries from broken glass, but he was fortunate that he wasn't injured more seriously.
Okay, please wish him well on behalf of the council and the FISBIS community, okay? I guess this report is one of the good reports because there is a declining trend of the crimes overall, and it's a great thing that you got the new system in place. Okay. Now, these comparative numbers are all based on the new system? Okay.
Yes, everything I showed you was 4 complete quarters under the NIBRS system. So this is an apples-to-apples comparison.
Okay, so that's a good news. All right, so you have the challenge coming up soon on 4th of July, which is equally, if not bigger event than Cinco de Mayo and all that. So hope your officers are all ready to handle the illegal fireworks and other stuff. So wish them and the community a safe 4th of July. Okay, so thank you for your report, and I'd like to move to accept the report.
All right, we got a motion, we got a second. We're going to Councilmember Torres.
Hi, thank you, Chief, for your presentation and for all your work, and thank you for making sure to let folks know what are they called, street shows?
Sideshows.
Thank you. That, sideshows shouldn't be tolerated in the city of San Jose. I think that's super important. We get a lot of complaints regarding sideshows here in our city. And actually with that, before I do, I had a series of other questions because I really wanted to talk about Cinco de Mayo and commend you for all your work, but this came, to the top. So can you take me step by step of when sideshows happen? Are folks able to get their car back if they're caught at a sideshow?
So we only impound the vehicle if there is a legal authority to do so. And so some of the driving behavior, reckless driving, exhibition of speed, things like that allow us the legal authority to impound a vehicle. It's not forever. It's a 30-day impound pursuant to either an on-view arrest or sometimes a vehicle seizure warrant after the fact. So it's not a permanent seizure of the vehicle, but it's a lengthy impound.
Okay, and that process is through us, or is that process through the criminal justice system?
Well, the vehicle code gives us the authority to do it. We do the impounding of the vehicle. The tow company holds the vehicle. The city charges the impound. Is in charge of dealing with the paperwork and the release portion of it, and whatever fees are accumulated during that period.
Okay, great. So they can't get their vehicle back for 30 days. And then I think a lot of these towing companies are charging like $350 a day for keeping them in their lot?
There's a storage fee per day. I don't know the exact.
Oh, good. And so it goes up, right?
It's expensive. You would not want your car impounded and held for 30 days.
Okay, yeah. I'm definitely not going to go do a sideshow, so.
I don't mean you personally. No one should want that to happen to them.
I'm trying to kid. I know it's right before July, and all our brutal meetings have happened already. Okay, so that's that. The other one is, what is the fine for folks in a car for a sideshow, and then what is the fine for spectators?
So the spectator ordinance is a municipal code ordinance. I don't know exactly what the fine is. I'm not sure if either of my colleagues knows that dollar amount. Perhaps Lieutenant Hamblin knows.
I believe it's about $100 for just the spectator one.
We're only fining people $100 to see all that craziness if they get caught?
If all that they are being charged with is spectating.
$100. Wow. Okay, maybe time to reconsider that. But it's future meetings. That's ridiculous. How about somebody or folks in the car?
So if they're just a passenger, I think all we could probably do is cite them for the spectator ordinance.
okay.
It's the same thing. The one for the driver is higher. I don't know how much, but for just spectating, I believe that's what it is.
Okay. And when was the last time we took a look at raising the fines of folks both in the car and, well, outside the car too, but?
We are actually, thank you for your question, council member. We are actually looking at that very much in depth right now. We actually have a sort of a task force within the department that's looking at the difference between using the new, there are some new state laws that have already been enacted, and we're looking at the pros and cons of switching to those statutes rather than our local municipal codes.
Okay, great. No, thank you so much. The sideshows are just a big issue in our city, and as a city, we do need to tackle it. And I know that, you know, every time, you know, you all do these presentations, we know that there's other stuff that's happening, right? With the sideshows, you find guns, you find drugs, unfortunately, and we definitely, you know, don't want our folks in that situation. Right, but sideshows should not be tolerated in our city. So thank you for being tough on sideshows in our city. And then the other one, yes, I'm one of those council members who was young and naive, in the first Cinco de Mayo, and blamed a lot of the issues on our police department when it came to Cinco de Mayo. But I think we all came together and worked towards a safer Cinco de Mayo for our city of San Jose. I know there were still some rough patches, but that's, it's way after the quote unquote, sanctioned Cinco de Mayo events occurred. And so, we want folks to know that we can all work together to bring all these culture celebrations. And let's be real, it's not just Cinco de Mayo, right? We work together to have a safe 4th of July and safe, Lunar New Year's, etc. Right? So thank you for all your work for Cinco de Mayo, and looking forward to next year's Cinco de Mayo. So
Thank you. Likewise.
yeah.
Vice Mayor Kamei.
Thank you. I want to piggyback a little bit on Councilmember Torres, in terms of cultural events. I have one coming up tomorrow night from 5 to 10, Salsa Festival over at the Parque de Pobladores. I imagine since it's first event, it'll probably be, small. But I wanted to thank you for all of your coordination. It sounds like this year's Cinco de Mayo turned out to be, a lot better than in past years, and communication is key. And so I think that I recognize that there's a lot of things that perhaps can be done better always, right? But certainly it sounds like it was much more successful than has been in the past. I wanted to ask a question in terms of, when these events do happen, because there are events all over the place, right? We have 4th of July coming up, and is it the quantity or the volume of people, cars, and that create sort of the issue of, making things move? Or I'm just wondering what triggers because I'm trying to prepare for tomorrow. So, what triggers the, sort of it warranting a lot more coordination, I guess.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's the size of the crowds. And so Cinco de Mayo is probably the biggest single event in the city of San Jose every year. And, whether it's Cinco de Mayo in San Jose or Mardi Gras in New Orleans or St. Patrick's Day in Chicago, whatever, if you bring thousands and thousands and thousands of people into the streets, and then sometimes you mix alcohol with that, there's going to be issues. And so that's why when we do what triggers for us things like the traffic diversions and road closures is simply the gridlock. If there's gridlock traffic, then nobody can get anywhere. That includes our residents, that includes even emergency vehicles, because we still can't get through a gridlocked intersection any more than anyone else can. So we feel that by taking a proactive stance in terms of high visibility, ensuring that hoping to deter crime through our high visibility and our proactivity, and then doing the traffic diversions and the road closures when the gridlock is beginning, we actually end up doing less enforcement than we would do if we took a hands-off approach and waited for it to get worse. In fact, I think Lieutenant Sherry can share some statistics regarding the amount of citations we issued relative to past years.
Yeah, we actually cut down the amount of citations we issued, primarily on Sunday, because Sunday we were very, very busy dealing with the congestion and criminal activity and sideshows and things like that. But if we look at just previous year stats, in just citations alone, we issued over 330, and this year we issued 156. So that's an improvement as well, right? And plus, we didn't have any traffic diversions set up Friday and Saturday, and we only had to set up on Sunday. Sunday was very, very busy, but it was a tremendous improvement from previous years.
Great, great. I think the coordination is important, so thank you so much for that. And I know that we're also talking about, in addition to 4th of July, we're also talking about Fiestas Patrias in September. And last year, I was amazed at the crowd here in City Hall. But everything worked out really well. The music was great, and people really had a good time. So coordination does pay off, and communication with others. So thank you for doing that.
Of course. Go ahead, Lee.
I did, just on behalf of the acting chief and myself, I did want to thank Councilmember Torres and Councilmember Ortiz and their staffs for what we did collectively pull off as an organization this year. I would not use the word naive whatsoever, but last year, after that weekend, Councilmember Torres and Ortiz asked to meet with Paul and I before they issued a rules memo. And they said, hey, we'll do these things if you do these things. And so that started a process of us working together for over the past year, and really the police departments and those two council offices. And you guys did a tremendous job, all of you, both of the offices and PD. The downtown, even with the rain on Saturday, but on Sunday in East San Jose was electric. Everyone that was involved, I think, had a good time. And it was a difficult thing to pull off, especially for two brand new council offices and a lot of new people in the department. So it really does show when we come together and work together towards something that we can be really successful. So I do want to thank everyone that was involved, from PD, Office of Cultural Affairs, and Council District 3 and 5.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you for your report, and thank you for your hard work keeping our citizens safe. I do see that on page 6, burglary has gone up a tad bit.
Let me, can I get the PowerPoint back up on the screen, please? Let's see. Let me back up. Sorry, I'm sorry, let me get it to, okay, let's see. Yes, you're right, Councilmember. We did have a 7.6% increase in burglary, so I apologize. Not every crime category went down, went down rather.
Went down, yeah. Is that commercial burglary or is it residential burglary?
So post-COVID, or from COVID onward, we had a real shift in the amount of burglary, in the manner of burglaries. So previous to COVID, it was about 50-50. Half the burglaries were residential, half were commercial. When COVID hit, of course, everybody was home all the time, and most burglaries of residences occur when people are not home. So our residential burglaries plummeted, but our commercial burglaries skyrocketed. And so it started to even itself back out again, which unfortunately for homeowners means some more residential burglaries. In that category includes auto burglaries as well. So I mean, it's not a trend, it's not a trend we'd like to see, but I would say it's a combination of the two. Paul, do you have further on that?
Yeah, I see the motor vehicle theft has gone down 8.9%. But I think, is there an outreach to our residents to say, don't keep cash at home? Deposit that in the bank. Don't keep valuable at home where you can have a, deposit box, if you will. I think that would reduce that amount of in-home robbery or home invasion, especially in the Asian community.
So we work through our crime prevention unit and our neighborhood watch program to do exactly that, to provide those kind of tips to avoid becoming a victim of a crime. Those tips are available also on our social media and our website, but I think through our crime prevention program and neighborhood watch, getting out into the community and meeting people face to face and providing those tips, I think, is most beneficial.
Thank you. And then on page 8, there's gambling offenses has risen up as well.
I was right there, sorry.
It's about
Yes.
October to December, it was 40%. Now, as I drive through, specifically in District 7, for example, when you have the Tet Festival and these people are out there at Grand Century and Vietnam Town, do these illegal gambling table. Are we looking to address that somewhere in the future?
So most of the gambling arrests are through proactivity, through investigations. We receive information, we conduct follow-up. Our Metro unit has been doing great work taking down some of the gambling. They refer to them as sort of gambling shacks, basically unauthorized, unlicensed gambling locations, typically operating either out of a residence or maybe a commercial storefront somewhere. That's where most of that work has occurred. And so when you see large percentage increases like that, if you look at the raw numbers themselves are very small. So you had 3 the first quarter, 4 the next, 5 the next, and 7 after that. So it does appear to be a substantial percentage increase, but the raw numbers are only increasing by 1 or 2 each month, or each quarter rather.
Thank you. Well, even though Councilmember Ortiz is not here, I just want to say I thank him for the Cinco de Mayo parade, and I had a great time being there, and it felt safe, and get to meet a lot of my old friends who are lowrider, and the old saying is low and slow, and unfortunately these younger kids that give a bad name out there to the sideshow, and thank you to Councilmember Torres to working with PD to make our Cinco de Mayo successful and safe for everyone. In that note, I think I don't see any other hands. Shall we vote? Thank you. Now we're going to open forum.
There are no requests to speak.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you.